Hello internet friends, and welcome once again to the Quality Time channel. As always, my name is Lester and I'm glad to have you guys here with me today on New Watch Day. I'm super excited to share this with you. This is a first for the channel. This is my first attempt at an unboxing, so I'm probably going to make some mistakes. Please bear with me. But here we are. Today we're going to be unboxing this guy that just came in the mail. Super excited to share this with you. I have not opened this yet, but I wanted to get this on camera. I know some of you guys like that, so here we go. Let's open this up. And inside, wow, look at that. I don't know if you guys recognize the logo. Let's see, but we got a Christopher Ward logo on the front of this black box. Let's check this out. Oh, it's quite heavy. All right. Oh, barely fits in the frame. Okay, let's see, we got this nice embossed logo on the front of this box. Feels really solid. Let's open this guy up, slide this out. Oh, look at that. My goodness. It's a wooden box. Oh, wow. Look at those details. Nice Christopher Ward logo there. That is really cool. Nothing like I've seen before. All right, I guess it slides open. All right. Oh, that is very cool. Let's see what we got here. We've got your instruction book, I guess. Oh, it's a guarantee card. Very nice. We've got that famous 60/60 guarantee over at Christopher Ward. That's very cool. Let's put that aside. We've got your, oh, I gave away the goose there. It's the C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. And the owner's handbook. Very nice. All right, and what else do we have here? Hope we have the watch. Let's open this up. Oh, we got something else here. This is, looks like a cleaning cloth. Oh, very nice. It's a cleaning cloth embossed with the, again, Christopher Ward logo. Very cool. And then, oh wow, there she is. Look at that. There we go. Let's pull this out here. Take off this plastic so you can get a better look at it. Let's just come off here. Oh, this can go. Let's see, look at that. Let's see if I get the plastic off. This does not want to come off. Huh. All right, this is not cooperating. I'm going to cut here and I'll take the plastic off so you can get a better look at the watch.
6 hours later.
And we're back, and here it is, guys. This is the Christopher Ward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. Now, I just pulled this out of the box. First impressions, I mean, looks really, really nice. I've known about Christopher Ward for quite a while now. I've heard their brand here and there on the internet, of course, and through reviews. So I've never handled one in person. I gotta say, this is pretty cool. Of course, I'm not going to give my review right now. I'm going to have to wear this for a while and then give you my thoughts. But I thought I'd share this unboxing with you guys. So stay tuned and for the full review of this watch. Hello internet friends, and welcome back to the Quality Time channel. My name is Lester and I'll be your host for this watch review. Today I'm very excited to show you one of my newest pieces. This piece is from a company called Christopher Ward. Now, Christopher Ward has always been on my watch collecting radar. They're based in the UK and they were founded in 2004. And while all their designs are made in England, the actual watches are manufactured in Switzerland. Their watches are very highly regarded within the watch community, but they're also on the higher end of my personal price scale, around the $1,000 mark or so. However, I did sign up for one of their newsletters and, to keep updated on the newest releases. And to my surprise, this past January, I got a newsletter advertising their January sale, which just happened to slash prices of some of their watches by as much as 50%. I quickly ran over to the sales page from the newsletter, and to my delight, one of the watches I was actually interested in was part of the sale. And this watch is none other than the C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. So I quickly added one to my cart and I waited for the watch to arrive. And as you can see from the beginning of the video, I sort of shared my unboxing experience with you guys. It's actually quite impressive. Anyway, before we get started, let's go on with the customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Seiko SSB chronograph. Now, just a review on this piece. If you are interested in chronographs, I highly recommend this one. Looks really nice and is not very expensive. Click the link in the video description to see my review of this neoclassic Seiko chronograph. Anyway, let's get right on to it. Now, the name of this piece is the Christopher Ward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. Now, the retail price for this piece goes at $965, but during their January sale this past January, I managed to pick this one up for 50% off. So the total was $482.50. The SKU number of this piece is S65 ADA2 S00K0B0. Well, that's quite a mouthful. And they call it, one of their dress pieces, but I think the general styling, such as the date complication and the overall way that it's shaped, I think it's more like a sporty dress piece. So that's how I would classify this particular watch. The case material is 316L stainless steel, and this case they call their light catcher case. And the reason they call it the light catcher is the multiple different finishes and angles that they have on this case. You can see brushed surfaces followed by a high polished chamfer, another brush surface, another polished chamfer, and then the side is also polished. So you can see it really catches the light in different ways depending on how you look at the case. And I think that's a really nice feature. The case size is 38 millimeters. The case thickness is a very svelte 10 millimeters, and if you include that box dome sapphire, then it would be 11.9 millimeters at the thickest point. The lug to lug is only 43.4 millimeters. If you account for the male end links, then it is only 47.9 millimeters, and the lug width is standard 20 millimeters. Sized for my 6¼ inch wrist, you're looking at 132 grams of weight. The bezel of this watch is a fixed steel bezel. It is not rotated, it is not a dive watch. The crown is a push-pull crown, and there is a Christopher Ward flag logo embossed on the side of the crown. As you can see, it's a push-pull crown. It's not a screw-down crown. And the crystal itself is one of the highlights. I think it is a box-domed sapphire crystal. You can see how it is raised above the bezel here. I think it looks really super nice. And there is also anti-reflective coating on the underside of the crystal. The dial is a matte black dial. You've got a Christopher Ward embossed flag logo at the 12. You've got the Christopher Ward printed logo at the 9 o'clock position. You've got water resist, 150 meters, 500 feet print, and also Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position. And then you've got the date complication at the 3. You've around the outer track, you've got a minute pips all along the perimeter of the dial. For this particular watch, you also have a leather strap option, but I'm more of a bracelet guy, so I opted for the steel bracelet. The hands themselves are baton hands. Both the hour and the minute are batons, and you got a very thin seconds hand with the Trident counterbalance on the other end of the seconds hand, which I think looks really cool. The markers are also stick markers. That you've got a double stick at the top. You've got half sticks at the 9 and the 3. And you've got a wider stick at the 6. And the other hours are slightly thinner sticks. For complications, of course, like I mentioned, you've got a color match date at the 3 o'clock position. You've also got some nice lume on here. You've got Superluminova Old Radium Lume on the hands. The second hand as well is tipped with some lume, and also all the markers are using that same Old Radium Superluminova for that vintage patinaed look. The case back is solid steel. It is a screw down case back, and it's nicely embossed with the Trident logo at the back of the watch. Looks super good. The water resistance of this piece, even though it doesn't have a screw down crown, it is still 150 meters, which is very respectable, which means you really don't need to worry about diving in the pool or, with it in the shower, getting caught in the rain. All not a problem. The movement inside this piece is a Sellita SW200-1 movement. It's got 26 joules and vibrates at 28,800 beats per hour. So you've got that very nice smooth sweep of the second hand. The power reserve of this particular movement is 38 hours. The band itself is made out of the same 316L stainless steel. It is a 3-link bracelet. You've got some really nice features of the bracelet. First of all, the clasp itself is also stainless steel with the Christopher Ward flag logo embossed on it. It is a double push button deployment clasp. And you've got Christopher Ward also carved into there. It looks really nice. It's a fully milled clasp. And one thing I really like about this, you'll notice that there's no micro adjusts on the clasp, and you think to yourself, oh, that's not very good. But what you do have is a quick release function at the underside of the clasp. And all I need to do is push the button over here towards my left, and then you can also adjust this on the fly, which is super useful. If your hand swells up, during the day, then you can get a really nice fit without having to mess with any tools. So it's a really solid bracelet. Unfortunately, it is a pin and collar bracelet as well, so you don't get screw links with this bracelet, but the bracelet links are solid, and you also have solid end links. The accuracy of this watch, measured on my time grapher, I managed to get plus 13 seconds a day with no beat error, so quite solid for a Sellita movement. And as for the warranty, you get 5 years of warranty with Christopher Ward on their watches, which is quite incredible. So what do I like about this watch? Well, first of all, it wears super well. I mean, I love the dimensions and the thinness of this watch. It's just so comfortable. It's really comfortable to wear all day long. I often forget I'm even wearing a watch when I'm wearing this watch sometimes. It's just so thin and nice, and you've got some really nice dimensions, so it really is a nice wear. The finishing on the case is also quite superb. I don't think I have a watch in my collection that is finished quite like this one, simply because you have so many cool edges and different surfaces on the casing. It really does make it stand out, and I didn't know it would be such a big deal until I got it in hand. You can see how that, as I kind of twist the watch in the light, see the amount of finishing that went into this case. It's just quite amazing. The bracelet itself is also extremely well made. You've got that quick release and quick adjust, which is really great. I mean, it snaps into place real nice, and being able to adjust the bracelet on the fly is super useful. You've got also a high beat Sellita Swiss movement, which is great for a piece like this, simply because you've got that really smooth sweep. Looks really nice. You've got as well, the crown is not a screw down crown, but this excellent smooth winding action you get with that Sellita movement. I mean, turning this crown, I'm not sure I don't think the mic will pick it up, but it just sounds really nice and also very smooth to operate. One feature I also like a lot about this is that the crown also is nicely embossed with that flag logo. It looks really good, really clean. You've also got some nice detailing on that dial. Those hands I find are very fine and very sharp. You can, I don't know if it comes across on the camera when you see this in person. It really amazed me how nicely they've done the hands and markers on this particular watch. Everything's really thin and nice and finished to a high level. They even left the half stick markers at the 9 and 3. Some brands, when they have a date window, they'll kind of remove the marker entirely, but I've appreciate that they keep them in even though they are half length. It's still great to have that there so that you do have that orientation in the dark. Speaking of the date wheel, it's also nicely color matched, so it doesn't really stick out like a sore thumb. You've got the black background with the white text, which I think balances it out quite nicely. And it doesn't give you too much white compared to the rest of the design. You've got a very, very nicely domed crystal, and the watch retains its thinness even though the crystal is highly domed. So again, it's really a nice wear, this particular piece. Also, that 150 meters of water resistance means you really don't need to baby it at all. 150 meters means you can go swimming with it no problem. It doesn't have a screw-down crown, but still manages that very high depth rating, and so you can be very secure with this particular watch. It really is one of those, go anywhere, do anything timepieces. The classic vintage design with the matte black dial and those old radium Supernova hands really is versatile. And so you can really dress this up or dress this down. Of course, with an excellent bracelet like this, I don't see myself really changing it out, but it would look really nicely, for example, on a distressed leather strap, if you wanted to do that. I think you can wear this with just about anything. It's a really, really versatile design. And as you've seen in the unboxing, you've got some amazing packaging with this particular watch. You've got a wood and faux leather box, some nice manuals inside, and everything's packaged really nicely. It would make a great gift for somebody. If you really want to impress them, it is the packaging it came in. Of course, you don't use that every day, but if you were to give this as a gift, then good on you. And also it would make a great gift because the packaging is really nice. And I think the last thing I want to say about this watch is that you've got that excellent Crystal Reward 60/60 guarantee, which basically means you have 60 days after receiving the watch to return it. And you've also got a 60-month warranty on the movement. And so you can tell that this is a company that is very, very confident in the quality of their watches, and they have the warranty to back it up. Now, you can probably tell I'm really impressed overall with this watch, but it is not a perfect watch, and I'll go over some of the negatives that I found with my time with the Crystal Reward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. First of all, the markers. Now, the markers do look very good. However, they're very, very thin. And because they are so thin, you don't really have a lot of surface area for that Supernova old radium, which means the lume is not as good as it could be if the markers were a bit thicker. You just don't have the space to really, put on a lot of lume. So it's not the brightest in my collection by far. It is good, but not all that bright simply because the markers are that thin. Also, there's no display case back on this watch. And of course, this is a small niggle, I guess. You don't really see the movement at all when you're wearing it, of course, but it would have been nice to be able to peer into it. It is a nice Swiss Salida movement, and it would have been nice to have a corresponding display back so you could see it when you wanted to. It is also running a tiny bit fast at +13. Not the worst in my collection, but definitely not the best. I've got cheaper movements that are running better than +13, but I think this is also a small point, especially if you have a lot of watches in your collection. Having plus or minus 10, something like this, 15 is not that bad, but I just thought I'd mention it. Another thing that I need to mention, is the Christopher Ward logo at the 9. This has been divisive for some people. Some people think it's sort of out of place. I personally don't mind it so much, but if you do, this could be a sticking point. From what I've been told, Christopher Ward has experimented with different logo configurations, and this is the one for this particular piece. Again, it doesn't, I think it, even though it is quite large compared to some of the other printing, the way that there's the date wheel on the 3 and the text at the bottom, it sort of balances out, and it doesn't really bother me all that much. But for you, it might. I think the biggest issue I have with this piece is the bracelet. It is very nicely finished, very nicely made. However, it is a pin and collar. And adjusting this on my own, I tell you, was one of the most difficult things I've done so far in watches. It was really tough for me to adjust this particular watch. And I've had other pin and collar bracelets before, but this is by far the most difficult now. They also have a watch resizing, bracelet resizing service at Christopher Ward. If you drop them an extra 10 British pounds, they will help you resize the bracelet. And in hindsight, I would have totally done that if I knew that this bracelet was that difficult to adjust. So it took me quite a while to do, and I was getting quite frustrated while trying to. I would say save yourself the frustration, pony up the extra 10 pounds and get them to resize the bracelet for you. And finally, I guess the price. The price is, at regular price, was $965, and considering everything that you get, the finishing, the level of finishing, you've got the Swiss movement and the super long warranty, $965 actually isn't that bad if it is on the high side. But if you're able to get it like me at half price, at $400 and something, $480, then this is, I think it is a steal. I'm very happy that I was able to snag one of these at that discounted price. At regular price, I would say it's still worth it, but at half price, it is an awesome deal. So conclusions then, I think this is a very, very good watch. You get a Swiss high beat movement, you get a solidly built and incredibly finished case and bracelet. That beautiful box dome sapphire is also a highlight, and you also get a super long 60-month warranty on this watch. This is really one of the most comfortable wearing pieces in my entire collection, and I find myself reaching for this watch more often than not. It's also got 150 meters of water resistance. You've got a date complication and a very clean and simple dial, which means that you could really wear this watch in nearly any situation. You can go to the office, get off work, hop in the pool, and then wear it with a suit and tie for a cocktail hour, and you can do it all with the same watch. Of course, it's not the perfect watch, but I think that the negatives are so minor, I can't help but wholeheartedly recommend this watch. I say it justifies the $965 asking price, but at the sale price of under $500, it is an absolute steal. I've checked the website, and for some reason this model doesn't seem to be listed anymore. I guess they're maybe working on a Mark III at this point. But if you like the look of this watch, then I can point you to their Sandhurst model, which is a more pilot style watch, but it does have the same size and it has the same color scheme. I'd also recommend that if you are interested in Christopher Ward watches, that you go ahead and sign up for the newsletter so that you are notified if they have one of these sales in the future. So that was my review of the Christopher Ward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II. Great job, Christopher Ward. I really do like this piece a lot. I'm curious to see what you guys think of this particular piece, so please let me know in the comments down below what you think of this particular watch. And if you have it, what are your experiences with it? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, that's the Christopher Ward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II review. My name is Lester, and thank you for spending some quality time with me. Take care now.